a former CAF Disciplinary Committee chairman, a respected arbitrator at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, as well as current chairman of the PSL DC, Mr. Raymond Hack. How does the world respond to a decision like this?
Well, firstly, you've got to look at the decision. This was a decision made by the appeal board, and they based their decision on Article 82, which said that if the team goes off the field of play without the authority of the referee, Article 84 comes into play. But they didn't read Article 84 too well, because Article 84 says the team which contravenes the provisions of Article 82 and Article 83 will be eliminated from the competition. It doesn't say the provisions of Article 82 or 83. It says Article 82 and 83. And that's where they award the 3 points, or the 3-0 score. Senegal did not in any way, do anything wrong as far as Article 83 is concerned. But the point that they are all missing is the referee's decision in terms of Article 6 of the CAF Disciplinary Code is final. So when is final? If you look in terms of the IFAB rules, whether it be 5.2, which talks about the referee, the game is finished when the referee blows the whistle for it being finished. What happened in this particular game is that a penalty was awarded to Morocco in the last minute of the game. The Senegalese players protested and they walked off the field. They shouldn't have walked off the field. There's no dispute as far as that is concerned. The referee did not blow for the end of the game. The Moroccan players did not go up to the referee and say to him, listen, in terms of Article 82, they've walked off the field. We are now the champions. Blow your whistle. He didn't do that. He allowed the team to come on. They took a penalty, Morocco. They missed the penalty. They then go into the extra time playoff. At no stage did they go to the referee and say, okay, we will take the penalty. We will go into extra time if need be under protest. Had they said that we are going under protest, then you can deal with it, that the referee may have not done the correct decision or something like that. But that was never done. They allowed the game to be finished. The referee blew the whistle and Senegal won the game. That is the end of the story. That is where it should have ended. The disciplinary committee, in my view, gave the right decision. The fact that the appeal board can now turn around and say, no, we're invoking Article 84. Well, you must read Article 84. The difference between and or is very, very big. In any event, the final say is the referee when he blows the whistle. The fact that you go and reduce the fine imposed on Morocco for laser is laughable, because the rule is very clear. You are not allowed lasers. It is a penalty in terms of the rules, whether it's 1 laser or 10 lasers or 1,000 lasers. The question is very simple. Were there lasers in the stadium? Yes or no? If it's yes, then you are guilty. If it's no, you're not guilty. The fact that the ball boys, their sanction is reduced. Did the ball boys go beyond their rights by pulling the towel away from the goalkeeper? Yes, that's not in the spirit of the game. Article 5.2 talks about the spirit of the game. That is not in the spirit of the game. So how you can even consider reducing the fine with due respect, in my opinion, is laughable. And what everyone is forgetting, and maybe the appeal board didn't take into account, there are precedents in this regard. Go back to 1976 when Guinea played Morocco. Morocco walked off the field of play. They then came back onto the field of play. It wasn't the game wasn't abandoned. You had this in the CAF Champions League for the clubs, where Wyatt did the same thing. And the Court of Arbitration ruled the referee's decision is final, irrespective of what the rules say. If the referee says the game is finished, he blows his whistle, that's the end of the story. But what they are all forgetting is the damage that has been done to African football's reputation as a result of this hullabaloo or circus, as people are referring it to at the moment. Now it's been reduced to an absolute laughingstock. Why? Because people want to put their own views of what the referee should do. If you want to say the referee is no longer in charge of football, then you don't need to have a referee. Then you can have anybody doing it. But if you want to go in terms of what the spirit and what the rules should be, then you have to observe the rules of the game. And the rules are very simple. The referee is the only person in charge of the game on the field. And when he blows the whistle, that's the end of the game. Anything that happens before doesn't come into the final decision.
I think that is loud and clear. Because a lot of people were saying, is there ambiguity between Articles 82, 83, and 84? And could that work in Senegal's favor on appeal? So that's a key question. But I just want to read out Article 84 because, and I 100% agree with you, Raymond, is that they've applied it incorrectly. And what Article 84 says is that the team which contravenes the provisions of Articles 82 as well as 83 shall be eliminated for good from the competition. This team will lose its match by 3-0 unless the opponent has scored a more advantageous result at the time when the match was interrupted. In this case, the score will be maintained. The organizing committee may adopt further measures. So Senegal did not contravene 82 at all. They've misread it. They've applied the wrong article here. So Raymond, obviously this is headed for CAS right now. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, firstly, if anybody thinks that this matter is going to be heard by CAS in the next couple of weeks, it's not going to happen. It will probably happen maybe within 6 months. So the cloud still hangs over Africa for the next 6 months because there's no urgency in the matter, number one, because the game is finished. There's no African Cup of Nations in the next few weeks. The players have received the prize money, presumably. They've received their medals. So it's just a question of what's got to happen. But as far as CAS is concerned, what would now happen is Senegal will file a request for arbitration. CAF will be required to respond to that. A deposit will have to be paid in. It will then be given to the administration to determine who the arbitrators would be. Each team has, or each body has the right to choose an arbitrator. If they can't come to an agreement, CAF will choose the arbitrator. It'll probably be a 3-man panel. As to when this will happen, in my opinion, certainly not in the next 6 months.
Jeez, that's a long time, Raymond.
Well, that's how long CAS matters are taken. It's not as if, there's an urgency in the matter because there is no urgency. The game is finished. The award has been made. The players have got their medals. This was an appeal that was a decision that was overturned by a CAF appeal body against a CAF disciplinary body. The other question I ask is, are you now saying that the people who sit on your disciplinary committee don't have sufficient knowledge to make it? Otherwise, why would you take it on appeal? Morocco have got their reasons for going forward. It's the same way as you're never going to get two lawyers to agree on the same thing. They always have a difference of opinion. That's what makes it interesting. But what everyone is forgetting is the image damage that has been done to CAF as a result of this. Surely if you're going to go on appeal, it should have been done straight away after the decision of the disciplinary came out. You can't tell me that everybody is so busy that they can't get an appeal body to sit in adequate time. The time period is just too much. And, it really pains me that the image of football has been destroyed again.
Raymond, maybe just a very honest final question from me is that if you were still an arbitrator at the Court of Arbitration for Sport, what would your decision be given the facts that you have in front of you?
If I was dealing with it, my decision would be very clear. The referee is the only person who can bring the game to an end. He brought the game to an end at the end of the extra time, and the winner at the end of extra time was Senegal.
So Senegal remain champions?
Yes.
Robert Marawa, live on 947.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show. It is myself, the Sober Boys, Wale Fatsi. I'm joined by Sandawana, Kabuyero, the Lekker Lau Kretel. Maleker, how are you doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sundowns is the chief. Sundowns is the king. Sundowns, we are the conqueror.
But
We lead everything.
Makos,
I keep you out there.
Makos, Mapagania Lubula, so.
They are well, they come,
Yeah.
Locha.
Yeah. I
Hey,
see we are traveling. I hope it won't affect our network as such. Today's topic is very simple. There are a lot of issues that we can talk about. People are grumbling, are complaining about the selection that has been done by the coach, which is Hugo Broos. And then now we want to look at the criteria. So I think you feel very strong about that. So let's look at that and discuss along the way. So I'll give you a chance to talk your opinion, what you feel. But before we go there, let me just indicate to you that let me share the news, football news. That's very, very important. Bafana Bafana, they've unveiled the new jersey. All right, the Adidas, as you can see there. I'm sure you can see it. It's green and yellow. Yeah, I don't know. I like yellow more than green. This green looks very dark. So I like, but well, it's about the taste. It's about whatever that has been done. And another news is John Laporta has been re-elected as the president of what you call, as the president of Barcelona. So remember, it was a fierce debate. It was a rivalry between him and Font. But a bit, I was very much impressed by Lionel Messi, who never wanted to take part in this. He never wanted to side with Laporta or Font. Font tried to invite him to be part of that. I think he bent the fingers when he sided with Laporta, but things didn't go well. Although Laporta still feels that they still can smoke a peace pipe. I don't know, we'll see. But to be honest with you, it was obvious that he was going to win. There were a lot of reasons that can make you to believe. The man has turned Barcelona to be a very exciting team, and by bringing in what's the name, Hansi Flick, and then we understand that Xavi was supporting the other candidate or other candidates, and then Hansi Flick turned the squad around, and as you could see, that squad was very exciting, and then that really worked in favor of him. But the biggest killer was him building the stadium. Doing that, it was obvious that it was going to give him a point ahead. But very interesting observation that I made. Messi didn't want to play a part. I saw Busquets voting with Laporte. Yeah, it made me think a little bit because I know Busquets and Messi are very close. I don't know. I don't want to insinuate anything. And then we know that how Messi feels about Laporta. So seeing one of his close friends voting with Laporte, I don't know. What does that tells you? But nevertheless, congratulations to Laporta for winning. We really wish him good luck going forward. And then here is the Champions League. Arsenal are showing that this year they want to be a team to be reckoned with. They beat Bayern Leverkusen 2-0, and then Chelsea lost to Paris Saint-Germain 3-0, whereas Manchester City lost to Real Madrid. And then Sporting, they also won 5-0. So Pete is not here. a Man City man. I don't know. What was he going to tell me about this? This looks like very terrible for Man City. But you know, Real Madrid, when it comes to this competition, they always come to the party. Hey, Gabriel, Regaufela, Sisonke, on Sesam Remo. We are together. What's your feeling? Sing one man. What's your feeling about the squad that has been selected by Hugo Broos? And then our question is, do you think that Hugo Broos is a selection criteria? Do you agree with it or you don't agree with it? I listen to Hugo Broos. I'll tell you what I feel. I listen to him articulating what influence his thinking in terms of selecting the players. He commented about various players, your Mbuli, your Chain, and so on. So, yeah, and then, and I don't think after this, remember this is a friendly for Panama. And then it's a 23-man squad. The World Cup needs 26-man squad. So there's still space for another 3. So, but I don't think the squad will change much from what we see now, okay? There might be slight change. And remember, it's towards now the World Cup, consistency is required. Now, what's your take?
Thank you very much. There are two things that I think our national team coach, I don't know if I have to put like favoritism or wrong selection criteria that being used in terms of consistency and the lineage of the players according to how they are performing their own team. Let's start with from the back. Maybe Rowan Williams doesn't have a competition. However, lifting out Sipo Chain on the national team, to me, as he's the one who was giving Rowan Williams the competition that we always see, it comes to us as, unless if he's trying to get a food, but going to Sukun and lose that player, goalkeeper for Sukun, ahead of Sipo Chain. To me, we're no longer building based on consistency. We are building based on emotions. We are building based on what people are saying. Going forward to other players. One thing that we are all aware of, Orlando Pirates captain, one of the weakest links from his team to the national team. Yet, he always gets the first on. The influence that he's getting for him to be selected is still questionable. He still comes back again. He went on to go and select Chembazwane. Chembazwane at Sundowns, I'm a Sundowns supporter, yes. Chembazwane had never played a full 90 minutes for the past 3 months. He only gets in roughly last 10 minutes, last 15 minutes, yet they select him for the national team. And he said he's preparing these players for the World Cup. How can you get a player who doesn't play regularly full time on his own team? Let alone, we're not undermining the impact of Chembazwane on the team and on the national team, as well as his influence. But the consistency and the manner in which he's playing now, it does not go hand in hand with what the national team. There are people who are underrated. They are being said to the national team. What happens for him that he has to leave out Reyners and go and select Evidence Makopa, go and select some other players? I think even Line Foster, he's not a regular, but yet you go and select him on the national team. Tell us, what criteria are you using? Because to me, consistency is the first thing, and then regular game time is again another issue. He once told us that he left out what do you call this boy? Cassius Mayelula, what Tau, and the others because of game time. Chemingo Lodge is doing very well. Let alone he's old. Chembazwane is old. But why can't he select Chemingo Lodge now? What is the main reason? We don't know. Master Chef selected for no other reason because of influence of pirates or yeah, even cause or yeah, whoever that is being used or being followed there. We really don't know. When we see, when we look beyond, we cannot get the right information from the coach. Even if he is the final man, Mara, his criteria are questionable.
Okay. I hear what you are saying, and then I'm asking viewers out there. Thank you so much for the people who commented on the show that we did last time. We got a number of comments. I really appreciate that. Probably I'll share some of them if I get the time. Look, at the end of the day, somebody must take the fall. And in this case is the coach. And then let me ask you out there, what's your take? Are you also questioning the selection criteria? Like Kabuyelo is putting the question that why Renas was not included, why Mbuli has been left out, all those players, Sipo Chain and so on. I listened to the coach very, very well. The coach seems to be doing his own homework. And then and the coach has a philosophy, according to me. The coach believes that if a player is ill-disciplined, he will wield the stick. He even said, it's not about in the playing field only. I also look the off the field activities. He said we went to AFCON, days we came back, some players off the field behavior was not satisfactory. The coach is a disciplinarian, according to me, okay? He wants to bring order, and then if you are going out of line, he will take action, and he wants to be consistent with that. And he has been doing that for some time. And then when it comes to Sipombuli, he explained that, look, he was playing, he contributed very well when we qualified for the World Cup. But thereafter, for the AFCON, after that, the off the field, well, he never went to that level. But he said thereafter, I never saw him playing at Pirates. And if he's not playing at Pirates, why? Why is he not playing? What are the reasons? As I say, the coach does not look only the way you play or your performance in the field of play. And then the coach has said, I'm not defending the coach, I'm also putting the view that he has put. The coach has said, for instance, Tembazwane, he has said it before that Tembazwane is the best player we have in this country, irrespective of age. Then he said, yes, Temba was injured, and then I didn't select him when we go to AFCON, but I kept on talking to him. And then when I speak to Temba, I could hear the passion that Temba wants to play, and Temba was serious. And it doesn't end there. He said Temba is highly respected among the players in the national squads. Not only in the national squad, even from Mamelodi Sundowns. The players there, they respect Temba so much. He said that element should not be disregarded. You need to bring that element to the fore. That is why he made that decision to say Temba should come in. And then he went further to say, I've selected him for this friendlies and see his match fitness, because I know he does not have the match fitness. But I think he was quite clear right from the beginning. How he supports Tembazwane. When it comes to Sibisi, he feels that Sibisi is one of the underrated players. People don't see that. And then he even commented that, look, Sibisi missed a penalty. So everybody was hammering him, said, you are killing the ball. So allow the players to commit mistake and then they'll improve on those mistakes. But if you hammer, you are killing them. Then he went further to say, I'm asking you guys, when you play, come to the stadium. You saw when you are there, the motivation that we are creating within the players. So that is his argument. And then I don't know you out there what's your take. So he has put his own arguments, and then in terms of the goalkeeping department, he has explained. He said he went for Goss and the other youngster because he's preparing for the future Bafana, because Rowan Williams is not getting younger, instead he's getting old. Sooner will not be having Rowan Williams. So on the basis of that, you need to prepare. Somebody will take over from Rowan Williams. Those are the arguments of the coach. And then he said, on the basis of that, that is why he made his decision. So I don't know. What do you say about what I've just said?
Based from that argument, I still argue against him. Previously, he was the one who said, "You cannot force me to select Temba Swan." Lately, he has changed his statement. He wants to build his reputation behind Temba Swan of the international team, of which we don't disagree. We're not against that. However, the biggest point still remains. When you defend your understatement, or when you defend your wrong, you need to put us the beef. You need to put us some meat within the bones. If he were to say now he took CVC just because he feels that he's underrated, don't you think? To me, now as we speak, you compare CVC as a captain from the team, his work rate, his consistency, subsequent to what his mistakes as it stands now, you cannot select CVC ahead of even Mbokazi, maybe, to put it in a simple way. Even though Mbokazi is there, and then that young boy from TS Galaxy on Sundowns now, who is doing very well. I mean, the questionables are there. Him defending himself, or he's trying to build a future Bafana. We don't dispute that, it's true. He's building a future Bafana. But on which basis? Remember, South Africa used to have the best goalkeeping department ever, from the era of Roger Dita, Andre Arends, and the likes. We used to know if we don't have Brian Malloy, there is Hans Vonk on the standby. There is Andre Arends on the standby. But now, do you think you can have trust to any goalkeeper now if you are to say you are taking out Ron Williams? From an honest point.
No, that is why he mentioned your Goss and others. Ne? And then not only that, he explained that sometimes you have to be harsh. So he was explaining, especially on the issue of Temba, you have to be harsh so that the players, they see that you are not playing. Remember, I said he's a disciplinarian. He wants to discipline players. And if you ask me where I'm sitting, I agree with him. I fully agree with him. And then I'll go further and say, let's wait until the results. But so far, where he has gone, I think the majority of people were in agreement that Hugo Broos has done extremely well. He's not praised only by some of us who are armchair critics, even the legends like Yochomo Sono, who played football, who coached at a high level. They believe that this coach has brought dignity to our football. Of course, no one is going to be perfect. We are going to have problems there and there. And then, but let's allow everybody has his own soft spot, has his own player that he prefers ahead of others. So that's it. But let's move on. CAF, they've just decided, I'm sure you are aware, that there was this problem. The game ended. Senegal won the cup after a very nasty incident that happened. And then after that, we stayed about 2 months, nothing is happening. Thereafter, after 2 months, there is a new decision. A new decision which simply says, after appeal, says that Morocco has won the cup. And this decision has been criticized left, right, and center. And unfortunately, Dr. Patrice Motsepe is found to be in the firing line. People are accusing him. You can see that he does not have an experience. Others are supporting him, and so on and so on. What's your take about the decision? Do you think this decision will dent the image of African football? Because if I check from length and breadth of footballers, your George Weah, you name them, Drogba, they came out against this decision. What's your take?
The African football on its own is dented, and our image, especially towards the European core, who doesn't recognize our tournaments. Now they will come to us on big guns and supporting their statement that we really need and we really indeed are a mockery at its best. So to me, I believe and I could see that as Africans, as much as we have got the top or the North Africans who does not recognize themselves as Africans, this is going to happen in the long run again, and it's still going to happen because of we have got our own Algerians, Moroccans, Egyptians who go and play the Arab Cup there in Saudi Arabia and the like in Asia. So they always think that they don't belong to Africa. They always think that they dictate the African football, which is why now Morocco could even deny or could even have the access to go and postpone the AFCON under the leadership that they want this AFCON to be recognized on them and for them to be given the victory ahead of Senegal. To me, it's not about the big guns or the legends from African footballs. It's all about what we have as a continent, what we can do. We can't blame Motsepe. Motsepe is just an open man. Motsepe have taken CAF to another caliber. Motsepe have managed to rejuvenate CAF from a 0% to a 90 degrees, of which nobody could do that. Issa Hayatou failed, Ibrahim failed, almost everyone who was there at CAF failed. But now Motsepe came in. Now we can see things are flowing out. But now here comes the situations of Arabs. It doesn't make sense at all. But our CAF, it's over now.
No, it's not over until it's over. Hakim, he says his mom said, don't accept this trophy. And then he encouraged his former teammates not to accept this because the game are won and lost on the pitch, not outside. But you know what? People are not just saying this out of the blue. They are looking, and I'm not saying this is correct. This is my observation. I think one of the issues that makes this hardline attitude towards Dr. Patrice Motsepe is his proximity to Infantino. All right? And I'm not saying Infantino is a wrong guy. That's not what I'm saying. But there was a kind like appeared to be a bizarre decision whereby Infantino and FIFA gave Donald Trump the Peace Prize. And immediately after that, guess what? The war erupted in a very intensified manner in the Gulf area. All right? So those are some of the things that people are bringing to the fore. And the other thing is Dr. Patrice Motsepe is a businessman. So people are viewing, and these are my suspicions, I'm not saying that's true, are viewing his interests, his business interest, maybe to tap into the oil and what they view in that part of the area of the world. That could be part of the reason why he was easily influenced, because people are questioning why stay two months without making a decision. 2 months, no decision. After 2 months, a decision is made, and it's a decision that says no, the CAF should go the other side. So Dr. Patrice Motsepe is getting a huge flag. Even Hugo Broos, he came out, as you can see here, and asking questions. And then how did this happen? Okay. Here's a statement of Hugo Broos. Hugo Broos said, the head coach of Bafana Bafana, Morocco should have been declared champions immediately after Senegal players left the pitch, not 3 months after. You hear the point. I see that I've lost Malekere. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's a network because he was driving. South African coach Hugo Broos blames CAF, not Senegal or Morocco, for once again being inconsistent in application of their own rules. Says if they had immediately punished Senegal for going off the pitch for 17 minutes in the final, won't be here, according to SABC Sport. I think it is very painful for Senegal to lose their trophy to Morocco. However, leaving the pitch was not the right decision. There are rules governing such a situation, and I believe those rules should have been respected. On the other hand, why did CAF not react immediately after the match? Why did they wait for almost 3 months before taking action? And then the delay raised many questions. Hugo Broos went further and said, the Senegalese has a valid point, because the decision should have taken immediately. So maybe that was the biggest problem that caused the problem. And we also have the legend, George Weah. I happened to see this guy playing. He was a lethal striker. He was a brilliant player. It was beautiful to watch George Weah. He was banging goals with his silky dribbling and so on. George Weah, the former president of Liberia, apart being a footballer, he also said, look, I beg Senegal for them to go to CAF authorities. He insists that in football, referee's decision on the pitch is final, as stated in the FIFA laws. Referee allowed the match to continue, game played to full, and plus extra time, and restart mention, report mention interruption, not forfeit. I mean, the referee continues the game. So that's the essence. That's what he said. He also dismissed the viral claim suggesting that he supports CAF ruling, calling them false and misleading. And now the debate gets even bigger, okay? If the referee is the highest authority during the match, how can a result be changed after the final whistle? And I also listened to Raymond Hack being interviewed by Robert Marawa. And Raymond Hack was very clear and say, the rules are very clear. If the game has played to the final whistle and the referee say the game is finished, everything ends there. So you cannot just go and start all over again. But on the other hand, in fairness to Dr. Patrice Motsepe, remember, he's the president, all right? And then he's got his own executive. And then there are other bodies, like the guy who's his, I think is his spokesperson, who was putting a point trying to defend his position, that there are bodies who are controlling various aspect of football, like those who are enforcing the rules, the disciplinary, the appeal, and so on. And then whenever they do their decision, they do those decisions independently. And once they've done their decision independently, the work of the president of CAF, including his team, is to implement the decision that has been, pronounced by the respective bodies. So if you take that, it makes sense. But the question people are raising is, you are a leader. You are the president, okay? You should remind your team, your management team, including those bodies that are supporting your management team, to say the rule says, all right? Now, if you don't stick to the rules, and then you are going to have a problem. This now tells us it's important for people to understand what does the rule says, whether it's in football or in life in general. You need to understand what the rule says and play by the rules. Because if we do things without rules, there will be anarchy. Okay, so hence rules have been brought to the fore so that they can be able to govern the relations among the participant in whatever engagement that they're involved in, be either in business, be either in a social setup or political setup. If people are, and then if people are, are allowed to do things without observing the rules, then there will be anarchy. So that's where some these arguments are coming from. So I'm sure you also have your opinion, and then when you have your opinion, what's your take about this? What's your view as far as this CAF decision? Is this one decision that people in the leadership of CAF will, live to regret? I saw Samuel Eto'o was very strong against this decision that was taken. I saw other people were arguing that maybe Samuel Eto'o is a former footballer, let him take over. I don't know. Sometimes when these things happen, they are being overtaken by emotions. But we cannot underestimate the role that has been played by Dr. Patrice Motsepe. He has played a very constructive role. His spokesperson was saying, look, this man does not even take a salary from CAF. Instead, he's contributing a lot of money to CAF. In fact, he's using his own transport. SAFA, CAF, they don't spend a cent as far as him is concerned. Not only that, his companies or his businesses are also contributing financially to the building of CAF. So they were saying you cannot underestimate that role that has been played by Dr. Patrice Motsepe. But at the same time, we need to understand that everyone is a human being. We are fallible. We can make mistakes. But leadership, when you are in leadership, you need to minimize as much mistake as possible. But are we, the people who say, as South Africans, we forgive the mistake that people have done because people grow out of those mistakes. It cannot be that a person has done, yes, this is a grievous mistake, of course, but hopefully, CAS, we will rectify this. But now, hearing what is happening in the news, I hear it in the grapevine that even the Federation of Morocco, they are not keen to accept this trophy because they feel that the trophy was supposed to be won in the field of play. So yeah, I don't know. What's your take? And then let's discuss the matter and see what's your take. Now you know very well that we are a financial company. We always try to ensure that people do get educated. And unfortunately, Malekere, Lelekere Laotrina, Sandawana got lost. Swara Kiaufura, he got lost in the process. I'm sure you're aware, that we have an issue when it comes to network. It's a very serious one, but I hope things will turn around. I don't know. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, those are some of the news that we're talking about. And then as I was about to start with the books, then the network again decided to rule. Now, let me go to the books so that you understand what's happening. First of all, I'm going to start with the new one that has been released by Benny McCarthy. The book is called Benny, It was written by McLean. Maybe McLean is the one who have put the book together. And I've got a copy of the book. And then, yeah, so I'll start working on it and see what's happening in the book. But one has a glimpse of how Benny traversed his life. Um, and then I'm happy that he has done what he has done, because we need to put these things in writing so that we know what's happening. The other one is this one, Robert Marawa, Cream Shelele. Very nice book. I went through the book. If you want to understand what's happening in the South African football, I think this has been well documented. So, yeah, maybe people like McGleason will also put their own documentary about their knowledge of the South African football, how it evolved to the way it is today. So, yeah, that information is necessary. And then, having said that, we are a financial company, and then we sell the books that talks about money. One of them is this one, How I Turned 500 Rand into a Million Rand Business. Anyone can do it. If one person can do it, why not? The essence of here was if you start business, you start with nothing. Let me give you an example. I started business with money. I lost a lot of money. And when I was down and out, then I started with nothing. Then I started saying, okay, let me just read the books and understand how the rich make their money. Finally, I got their secret. How do they do it? Which anyone can do it. So, yeah, and I had no money to do that. But if you want to know how did I do it, and then just go to the book and then it will show you. And then the other one that I wrote, which was my first book, is called Secrets for Becoming Rich, which was the first book that I wrote. And then this book, it's a very nice one. You can learn a lot. That's when I introduce what the big R is, or TBR is. The big R is nothing else but all the English words that are positive, that starts with the letter R, like reading, research, responsibility, reposition, resilience, you name them, okay? And then relationship. So I'm saying if you apply those principles in your life, things will turn around, because I saw myself turning my life around by simply reading books and starting to understand what's happening. And when I read one of the books, Rich Dad Poor Dad by Richard Kiyosaki, he said they had what we call a reading club. Him and his wife now and his friends, and then they would go to a camping and reading and start understanding how things are being done, and then they go out there and practice. So I applied the very same principle, and guess what? When you do that, it takes a lot of work. You need to be responsible. You need to relate to a number of people, hence relationship. So yeah, lay your hand on the book. It will definitely teach you one or two things. And then the other one that I wrote is this one, How to Get Out of Bad Debts and Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich. Because you know what, if you really, really want to make money, you need to understand this concept. Debt is important. If you don't understand debt, you're not going to make any progress. And then the other one is written by a very good friend of mine, Luther Libelo, and the book is called Consciousness of Being God. So yeah, this is one of the book that you can lay your hand on and read about it. And then yeah, so those are some of the news that we have for you in terms of the books and reading. We don't have only that; we also have what you call membership club, whereby we encourage people to join our membership. And in that membership, we are mentoring. I'm mentoring people, uh, educate them about the experience that we went through, how to build a business, and so on. Because it's a journey. It's not something that happens overnight. It's something that it has to, you build it over time. So yeah, and then it takes a while. Not everybody But once you have read, you must learn from there. And once you have learned, implement what you have learned. Very important. You need to implement what you have learned so that you can see things happening in your life. And then, so those are some of the things that I want to share with you, and then to understand um, what's happening. Because immediately after here, I'm going to go to the Messi special, and share with you the Messi special. So because this is very important. Look, I said it before. We don't want to see the time comes Messi is not playing and then we never celebrated him. Let's celebrate him while he's still alive. That's very, very important. That's my opinion. And then, unfortunately enough, he does complement what you call. He does complement his stature by being what he is. So as we get the news around him, we share and show you the news. And that is why he has made so much impact. I'll show you one of the impact that he has made. I saw a journalist, I think it's an Argentinian journalist, who always wanted to interview Lionel Messi. He had that opportunity one day to interview him. Guess what? He cried. He cried in front of Lionel Messi. And the reason he cried, I think he never believed that this would happen. And it happened. So he couldn't believe his eyes that I'm sitting in front of Lionel Messi, the man that I wanted to interview so badly. And here he is. And then guess what? It turned to be, instead of being an interview, Messi was now trying to cool him off, to calm him down. That's the impact that this man has. Um, and just to show the impact that he has. And one other thing that I've learned about, he respects everybody, irrespective of culture. You see him here in a Muslim regalia, and then he said, "Football has taught me, has not only taught me to own trophies, to win trophies. It has also taught me to love people." And we know that this guy loves people. If this breaking news are true, I never differentiate people by religion because, love has no religion. And I will never forget that love that my Muslim brothers and sisters around the world have given me. Their prayers, their support are closest to my heart, are closest to my heart. And then even though we all walk different paths, or our different destination is the same, humanity. So that's Lionel Messi. The more you deal with this guy, the more you respect him. And then guess what? This month, or no, this during the week, he reached a milestone of scoring 9 goals. Look here, Messi has scored 900 goals. I said 9 goals. I normally do those mistakes. 900 goals, all right? And he is leading with assists. Remember, with goals, Ronaldo is leading, all right? But the difference here is Messi reached the 900 goals quicker than him with lesser game. So that's the difference. And then, so had he played maybe the number of games that Ronaldo played, maybe he could have surpassed Ronaldo. Again, you should also bear in mind that Messi plays as a midfielder, all right? He plays from the middle, not as a striker. And then when come to assist with midfielders, he's the leading player when come to assist. And that is also backed up by the trophies that he won as a distributor. And then here's the other one. If you compare the two, Ronaldo scored 900 goals after 1,238 games. than Messi after 1,142 games. I think the difference is about 90 something, 94 or so. Let me do the math. So it shows how do you differentiate the two. It's easy to say no. We don't downplay the role that is being played by Ronaldo. He has contributed a lot, and Messi has said it himself that Ronaldo's presence has pushed him to another level. So so it has pushed him to another level. So he does not downplay the motivation that Ronaldo has played in his success. Now, the difference, Messi played 96 less game than Ronaldo. And then that tells you. And as I continue to say, it doesn't mean that Ronaldo is not great. He is great. But unfortunately, he's playing in a different era. And then now, what has he done for Inter Miami? Because, there was this argument, no, he hasn't gone to any other league. He has always been in La Liga. Look what he has done with Inter Miami. All right. He played 91 games and then scored 81 goals and then 43 assists, 124 goal and assist, 4 major trophies, and 2 MVP. I wanted to say 2 MVP, the most valuable player in terms of the overall, and then 2 golden boot as a striker. Now that is in MLS, 93 games, 81 goals, 43 assists. So, this debate, oh, who's the GOAT, it should be rested. It should be rested, of course. We don't underplay the role that Ronaldo has played because he has done a lot, Ronaldo. And the other thing that I want to, to show is his loyalty. This man is so loyal to his friends. I remember Kuno Aguero, he's got a podcast. And then I think one of the, if not the first guest was Lionel Messi. And, and he's always there for his friends. And then here is DePaul, who's always there for Messi. He said it, that, you know what, he's even proud to say it. If I'm the bodyguard in the field of play, there is another bodyguard who looks after Messi, but me, I'm the other bodyguard. And you could see how he defended Lionel Messi, DePaul. And here Messi was with DePaul and DePaul's girlfriend, who's a musician. And then they were shooting a video. Both of them appeared on the video. Now you can imagine the viral. How is it gonna go viral, that video? So this is the man. He really, he's really loyal and support his friends. And on that basis, what else can you say except to continue to respect what this man is doing? He's really doing wonders because you're not an island. You live with other people. So it's important that you always remember that, you know what? I need to remember where I come from and then assist some of my friends and see how do they do things. If they want my support, I'm always there for them. So that's a very good thing. I think if some of us, we can carry that kind of behavior and ensure that we support each other, then we can go a long way as a human. Because we need support among ourselves for us to be able to go to another level. If you don't do that, you can imagine how things are going to do. I'm going to share the last bench of books in this section so that you understand, because we encourage people to read, because when you read is power. Here's a book called Entrepreneur Awaken with a Drive. This is Nom Summers Bubo, hailing from Emalahleni, Witbank to be precise, especially those of us who were born during that era. Now the place is known as Emalaseni. Nomsa Masbuga she's an entrepreneur who does very well. And the other one is this one by Dr. Darlene Small, an economist by profession, who has been an advisor to governors of the Reserve Bank, South African Reserve Bank, to qualify it. And then the last person that she advised was Mr. Tito Mboweni. May his soul rest in peace. And then the last book that I want to share is the book by Andy Lemkritama, Black Can't Be Racist. I wanted to share his new book called Guptas versus Stellenbosch Mafia, but I haven't received the cover of it. But I've just communicated with him, send me the cover so that we share. Reading is power. If you want to encourage, if you want to ensure that at the end of the day you understand many things, I'm telling you, just take a book and read and learn. Steve Jobs managed to create so many products. And then if you read his biography, you'll hear that he was an ardent reader. He was reading, continuously. So it's all about that. Power is in the knowledge. The more knowledge you have, the better. All right. Now, people, please continue to subscribe and like and comment. And then, either you comment about the show that we have done. What is your take about Hugo Broos' selection criteria? Do you think he's on point, or do you think he's missing a point? That was the topic for today. So let me hear your opinion. I was here with Lekere Lautrina. You know what? Unfortunately, he got cut. Remoho, Rekaufela, Sisonke, we are together. Singwe, Rotle, and then the beat goes on. I thank you so much for being with us, and then let's continue to support. Thank you. Hello, everyone. We are back. My name is the Sobri Boys Walefatsi from TBR, which simply means the Big R Solutions. Here I'm representing the company called the Big R Financial Service Provider, Financial Services, which is an authorized and registered service provider. Our license number is FSP 47430. I'm talking to all government employees, age 55 and above, who are already thinking of exiting the system. They either want to go on pension or they want to resign. Two things that comes to mind: how do I save? How do I save on penalties? How do I ensure that the tax is not so huge? What can I do to make sure that I achieve those goals? Now, if you want to know how to achieve those goals, come to us, drop us a WhatsApp, we'll call you. The WhatsApp number is very simple. It's 067 915 1447. 067 915 1447. Drop us a WhatsApp. Don't call, but drop us a WhatsApp. And then we are working together with Alan Gray on this product, on this project. So Alan Gray is our product supplier. So we assist people using that product supply. So it's up to you to give us a shout or drop us a WhatsApp. We'll therefore come back to you. I thank you.
Kgotsong, dumela. Ke le tsebetsa ka buka ya ka e buang ka tsela yeo ke tsamaileng bophelong ba ka. Le tla utlwa ka mathata ao ke bileng le ona le katleho yeo ke e fihletseng. Hape le hore radio e nkahile jwang hore ke fetole bophelo ba ka. Takatso ya ka ke hore o fumane buka ena ya ka e tla fetola bophelo ba hao. Ya buang ke Dr. Chomani. Take it easy.